Alright, if you clicked on this video, it must mean you have absolutely no idea what you are doing. You could be a returning Maplestory player, you could be a brand new Maplestory player. I intend to make a very brief guide and some episodes along with my Buccaneer that I'm going to be creating and making a new main. So feel free to go along with my progress. Okay, so before we get started, you're going to need to know two things. You're going to need to know how to get around. You're also going to be wondering about gear, and I'm going to quickly cover both of those things. To get around, when you make your first reboot character, I'd suggest sticking with them, and you get a money box that gives you a bunch of coins that you can buy yourself a hyper teleport rock in the cash shop with, and that's what you're going to use to get around. Along with that, you're going to be wondering what equipment you're going to be using. So to start off with, up until level 140, you're actually just going to be using what you pick up off the ground. And if you're a terror burning character, like I assume a lot of you guys are, just use your terror burning gear. Make sure to check your use inventory and always click open the chest to get free level 100 gear and free level 150 gear. And then you're going to gear up by following my guide from the rest of that. But for now, we're just focusing on this video. We're going to get to 130. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry about the birds in the background. I do have two budgies, just in case you're curious what that noise is. Anyway, we're going to get right into it. We are at the start of the game, level 1 to level 30. You are just going to be doing quests or whatever is around you. It is really that simple. If you are playing and you're already funded, you can already get yourself a hyper teleport rock. I'd suggest going over to the street signs in Edelstein or the Golems in Hennessy's. A lot of these maps are just good in general, and once you hit, I'd say like level 20, or you can just stay at Golems. You can try out the various Golem maps. The higher up on the map, the better. That will get you to 1 to level 30. For my Buccaneer, all I did was kill the street signs as are on screen. I think I did some golems too, so I'll try and show that footage. And then I just killed street lights. Those are honestly like the best things to kill up to level 30 for me. Next up is between levels 30 and 60, and here you can either just start doing the theme dungeons. I strongly recommend you do Rhaenys Straits and the Fairy Academy one. It gets you two very good equips, and that should get you about 54-ish, which you can do another theme dungeon, or you can just follow my leveling guide. So to start off with, we're going to start at Mutant Stray Dogs, and then there's a second map of Mutant Stray Dogs that are level 37, just in case you are feeling strong enough already. And then you're going to be moving on to the map above, and you're going to be killing mean cronies, or whatever the heck their names are. You're going to be killing those for a while until you go to Pirion and you fight wild boars in the wild boar land, and those maps will get you to third job. You might notice that I might be training a little lower or higher than the indicated training maps that are on the screen. I would suggest using your own judgment in these cases to see if you're too powerful or not powerful enough to go on to the next map. So I'm just going to include a few clips here of me leveling up in the various spots. Now that you are third job, you actually have quite a few options. Immediately, you're going to start off at the excavation intermission area. You can fight the skelly dogs and the mummy dogs in the secret map there is. It's perfect, it's flat, and it's a great map for level 60 to 65, as you can see on screen. And just around then, a lot of training maps are going to open up. You can actually go to Copper Drakes in Sleepywood. I don't usually recommend these because the maps are so busy, but I can usually find a map in Stairway to the Sky 1, which has all the cute little lion monsters that you'll feel horrible for killing, but that's what I did for a lot of my training. I ended up going there until about level 82, and that's always what I do on my characters. Then next up is the Desert of Serenity, where you're going to be killing sand rats and dark sand dwarfs, maybe up until level 100. That's up to you, because around level 93 to 95, you may make a switch over to Roids in Magitea. However, it is a good choice just to stick at the Desert of Serenity, especially if you have a totem. Just a reminder, guys, if you have any questions or comments about the video, please put them down below. And if you're liking this, I'm going to continue making videos on this Buccaneer. with more great guides. So just subscribe to the channel if you're liking the content. Now that you are 4th job, there's a couple things you're going to want to do. Actually, there's quite a few maps. You can train at the West Leafray Forest, which has rashes, which are level 103. You can kill those. Or you can go to Skynest 2, which has blood harps, but it requires 5-star force. Star forcing is a very easy concept because you just need to open up your enhancement window and you just need to put the item in that you want to enhance in order to star force, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. So I feel like I do not need to explain that more. I would do that on your weapon. Go star force your weapon up to 5 stars if you want to do training at the Skynest 2. Alternatively, and alongside training at these maps, I would suggest getting a 2x Ruin and getting as many experience buffs as you can, and going to Zakum, because not only can you get some amazing drops that will last you throughout the entire early game, you'll also get a ton of levels and a really good weapon that I actually used up until level 140, I believe, or I just used it for a while. Zakum just gives a very nice weapon that drops for level 110s. So for equipment, for now, you should be just using what you've picked up on the ground. Just as I said, you can be star forcing or enchanting just as you please. Reminder, this is just a reboot guide. And moving on, there are 2 types of maps you can go to after you reach about level 105 or 108. You can either go to the Sky Terrace 5, which has Toy Trojans. It has a really high burning rate, so this map is amazing, especially if you got the mobility. But I actually like Robos and Master Robos at the Toy Factory apparatus room that is in Ludibroom. This map usually has okay burning, but it has pretty good spawn rate, and I do this until I'm about a level 120, and then I'm going to move on to my next training map. At this point, you're going to really be wanting to Star Force or enchant your equipment just because you need 28 Star Force to enter the next map. I would suggest trying to Star Force as much as you can because you can actually use the transfer hammer on items that are 10 levels or higher at this point, and you can transfer all that Star Force onto your next item, and you can see the stats if it's going to be better. I would highly suggest being aware of the transfer hammer and what it does. The next maps you're going to do about when you hit maybe 125 are going to be in the Korean folk town, and you can either go to the Moon Bunnies or the map over, which is around the pond, and you can actually train at either of these maps depending on what you like until about 140, or you can switch it up by going to the Pirate's Nose Den in the Mulong Garden region. It is just on the pirate ship, and they drop a lot of Pencilier gears, which is what we're going to use at 140 if we're not a burning character, and I'm going to make a video about that. Just please stay tuned. This is now the end of the video. This is getting to your 130s, I'll call it. I didn't have too much of a plan or structure to this video, but I just recorded a bunch of footage and me talking about it, and I wanted to help all the new players out. So if you have any questions, if you're a new player returning, please feel free to ask down below. And please don't be offended if I say I will address this in the next video, because I have lots of that planned, but I just would love to hear any feedback about this. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Pencilier to Fafnir.